Wrestling is basically a live-action stunt show held together by ego, baby oil, and a prayer. It's part theater, part demolition derby, and every so often, the wheels come flying off. Sometimes it's a mistimed dive, sometimes a punch that wouldn't hurt a toddler, and sometimes it's just a complete physics malfunction. The beauty and chaos of all of it is that it's live, no second takes, no cut and reset when wrestlers screw up. The whole world sees it in glorious HD, replayed from 5 angles, and honestly, it's half the fun of watching. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling. Let's take a look at 7 of the most embarrassing WWE moments in 2025. Number 1, 0 feet. Not touching the floor. Look, we dig Penta. We don't love him spamming his taunt every 30 seconds like he's trying to get his special up and no mercy, but other than that, we dig him. So it's pretty disappointing to see him eliminated so quickly during his Royal Rumble debut. Just didn't make sense. Why do you have this hot new star come into one of the biggest matches of the year only to be immediately eliminated? Because that's what happens when both your feet hit the floor. It means you're done, right? He and Rey Mysterio kicked things off in 2025 with Flair on the apron. Then Penta tried to steal the moment by defying physics, but correct me if I'm wrong, but those are 2 feet hitting the floor, right? The universe gasped, the refs conveniently looked the other way, and the WWE hit the equivalent of play it cool by skipping that replay entirely. Go back and watch this match on Peacock. You'll see a very different angle than the one that originally aired. This one spot leaned into the let's just pretend that didn't happen handbook, and so Penta stuck around for another 42 minutes of credited time, while half the internet was whispering, shouldn't that have been a minute 45? Yeah, bravo. Number 2, errant ATV. WrestleMania 41, Night 2, where the Texas Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin slithered back for a beer-soaked cameo, only to turn his iconic ATV entrance into a demolition derby disaster. You got the 60-year-old legend, beer gut and all, revving up his four-wheeler like he's auditioning for Jackass the geriatric years. He's circling the ring when, bam, plows straight into the barricade, tipping the quad like a drunk uncle at a family barbecue. The crowd gasps as Austin catapults off, nearly flattening a ringside fan. Probably wanted a foam finger, not a face full of fender. Austin later said on Ariel Helwani's show that the throttle setup was different. Okay. But this wasn't the first time a stunt had gone wrong at the Showcase of the Immortals. The grand finale of WrestleMania 24 in Orlando took a sharp left turn when a fireworks rig malfunctioned. Cable snapped and sent a cascade of pyrotechnics crashing into the upper left stands of the Citrus Bowl, leaving around 40 spectators burned, cut, or stunned. WWE issued a statement apologizing and launched an investigation. Fortunately, the only thing that seemed to be hurt during this incident is the belief that Austin can handle anything with 4 wheels. Number 3, swing and a miss. Now, there were always 2 Bellas, but let's be honest, only one of them was ever the Bella. Nikki Bella was the one who actually tried, while Brie was busy screaming Brie mode like it was a legally binding defense for bad decisions. Nikki was grinding to get better. She improved her timing, tightened up her offense, and managed to carve out an actual identity in a division that didn't exactly hand out respect to reality stars turned wrestlers. She carried that Divas title like she was auditioning to be taken seriously, and shockingly, kind of worked. But even the prime Bella had her off nights. Case in point, during her comeback, the Clash in Paris Intercontinental title match where Nikki went for a big kick on Becky Lynch and completely whiffed like air ball. Becky, to her credit, had the good sense not to sell this literal disaster kick. It's one of those let's all pretend that didn't just happen moments that kind of lives forever on wrestling Twitter, highlight reels, and snarky YouTube list videos. But yeah, that's what made Nikki interesting. She cared. She wasn't coasting on her catchphrase, her husband's goat beard legacy, and the nostalgia of twin magic. She wanted to be seen as more than the girl who did a reality show like Trish Stratus. She wanted to prove that she could hang with this new generation of talent. And even if her leg occasionally has the aim of a stormtrooper, she keeps showing up, keeps trying, and in her own way, kicked the door open for women who'd come next. And, eventually connecting. Number 4, I See London, I See France. On the September 12th, 2025 episode of SmackDown, the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar, the unstoppable juggernaut, the mayor of Suplex City, met his ultimate foe, a pair of ill-fitted jeans. Picture this, Lesnar is hulking out in the ring, probably pondering his next victim or his protein shake regimen when R-Truth bumbles out like a lost tourist rambling about Ron Cena or whatever fever dream he's in this week. Brock, ever the professional monster, hoists Truth up for an F5 that's supposed to scream dominance. Instead, we get a big rip, his pants split wide open mid-spin, flashing a pair of blue undies like a discount Superman reveal. The crowd erupts, not in awe of the F5, but in giggles over Brock's wardrobe whoopsie. The man who broke the streak, who ragdolls grown men like toys, reduced to a pantsless punchline. Was it the force of the move? Nah, probably those thighs of steel, finally rebelling against the denim tyranny. Truth sells the slam like a champ at Brock. He's having a good time, strutting around with the breeze where no beast should feel one, turning heel heat into accidental comedy gold, and honestly, kudos to the last next big thing. He seemed to take it all in good humor. Now, before we move on, if you enjoyed this video, please do us a solid, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop kick that notification bell. Number 5. Pin Pals. On the September 26, 2025 episode of SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton was defending her WWE Women's title in a triple threat match against Nia Jax and Jade Cargill. During the bout, Cargill's head was split open when she was tossed into the ringside steps. Fortunately, both her and Stratton were wearing red, so it's just weird. Don't they talk about those things beforehand? But that wasn't the screwed up part. I mean, it was screwed up, but this ain't ballet. People are going to get cuts from time to time. What was screwed up was the finish. Cargill had Jax pinned and was waiting for Stratton to break up the pin with a dropkick. Stratton was a bit late, so Jax improvised and kicked out. But that's a problem. She did the right thing, as that pinfall would have ended the match and created an unintentional title change. But the problem was that Stratton was supposed to dropkick Cargill, then cover Jax for the pin and win, but that only makes sense if Jax hadn't kicked out earlier. So when Stratton went for the pin, the referee assumed Jax was going to kick out, like she did before, and she did not. They quickly moved on to a new finish with the prettiest moonsault ever, but the damage had been done, which should have been a nice little title defense for Stratton. Her flipping around like a manic pixie dream babyface, Cargill flexing her superhuman aura, and Jax just squashing dreams like a human steamroller. It all devolved into a perfect storm of finger pointing. Was it Stratton's fault for being late with the dropkick? Was it Nia Jax's fault for not realizing that from a psychology standpoint, she should kick out that second time? Or was it the ref's fault for just not counting the pin? The only person who wasn't to blame was on the outside of the ring, picking little pieces of ringside steps out of her forehead. Number 6. Dive Bar. Top Dollar will forever be known not for what he did in the ring, but for when he didn't quite make it over the ring. His now legendary failed dive on SmackDown was less high-flying athleticism and more Windows error message in motion. Fans, and weirdly Michael Cole, did not let him live it down for a second. Now, fast forward to March of 2025, where the Yeet Master General himself, Jey Uso, took a page from Top Dollar's How Not to Dive handbook and executed a spectacularly disastrous leap of his own. Only, unlike poor Top Dollar, WWE turned Jay's midair faceplane into storyline gold. The botch became a weapon in his feud with Gunther, with every sloppy landing fueling Gunther's dominance, reminding everyone that the Usos aren't invincible. Fans winced, laughed, and immediately started tweeting slow-motion replays, turning Jay's mistake into a running gag that somehow made the rivalry feel more intense. Faceplant never looked so strategically effective in wrestling storytelling. On a Raw recap, Uso would say, "Kinda was embarrassed a lot about that because it's still part of my craft, right? Still part of my work. Just not tapping in with myself maybe, man. A lot of big pressure, but I'm trying to answer the call, Us. Trying to step up to the plate like I always do. Just staying focused. I did slip up tonight. Pretty sure you saw my brother Jimmy, so now I'm trying to out as weeks come in, and I can't be playing around right now because WrestleMania's right around the corner. Just gotta tighten up." And tighten it up he must have done, as he went on to best Gunther at WrestleMania a few weeks later. Number 7. Hair-raising incident. On the September 26, 2025 episode of WWE SmackDown, a tag match featuring Julia and Kiana James against Michin and B-Fab wasn't particularly noteworthy, but the quartet of competitors who hadn't been getting much screen time, despite the fact that Julia is the reigning United States champion, were gonna do their best. And everything was going according to plan until B-Fab made the hot tag to her partner. Michin came in as the proverbial house of fire and started wrecking her opponents, including a very impressive swinging DDT. But what's that over there? Apparently, an extension had come loose from one of the competitors and was now just hanging out in the ring. And, if we're being honest here, I wasn't even sure if that constituted being embarrassing or not, so I asked my wife and she confirmed that it absolutely is. Fortunately, Kiana had the presence of mind to snag the extension and sneak it out of the ring, which probably wouldn't have been my top priority if I had just been rocked by a DDT. Well, there's our list. Can you think of any other embarrassing WWE moments from 2025? If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, do us a solid, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and super kick that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.